So you've sold a covered call. You set the strike and the expiration to values that you think are safe. You like the underlying stock, and you don't really want to get it called away at these prices. You happily collect some premium and lower your cost basis. But then this happens. Up, up, and away. The stock price blows past your strike. You don't adjust, thinking it might come back down. But it keeps going up, up, and up. The value of your covered call has turned into a very big negative number. And you have regrets about selling that call and not adjusting as it moved past your strike. So what should you do now? Don't panic. It's not such a bad thing. Let's go over your options, pun intended. Option number 1. You could buy to close your call and then sell the stock and use that capital on a better opportunity. Depending on what your cost basis is, you could still have made a nice profit. But before doing that, consider how much time value is left in the option. Ask yourself if you're willing to pay this extra premium above its intrinsic value to close it early. Remember, an option has intrinsic value and extrinsic value, or time value. Let's take a look at this in one of my covered calls that's gone deep in the money. I have a covered call on Pulte Homes, PHM. This home builder stock has been skyrocketing lately, zooming past my strike, and it keeps going up. Its intrinsic value is the price of the stock minus the strike price. PHM stock has a current price of 68.43 as of May 14th. I sold a January 2024 50 strike call option on PHM a while back. So the option's intrinsic value is its current price minus its strike, which gives $18.43 for its intrinsic value. However, the current price of that January 2024 50 strike call is $21.15. So let's compute its time value. The extrinsic value, or time value, is the option price minus the intrinsic value, which we just computed a minute ago. So that is $21, the current option price, minus the intrinsic value of $18.43, which gives us a time value of $2.72. So should I pay this extra time premium and close it out now? Let's look at our other options first before deciding. Option number 2. We could wait for the time value to decay. Let's see how the time value might decay. We'll take a look at a nearer dated option of the same strike to see what its time value is. The July 50 strike, 2 months away, is going for $18.90. So its time value has fallen all the way down to 47 cents. That means if Pulte stock stays around its current price and its volatility is similar in November to what it is now, the January 2024 50 strike option time value should fall to around 50 cents in November. If PHM stock moves up between now and then, its time value will decay quicker. If PHM goes down, its time value will decay slower, or even increase. Option number 3, roll it. Roll the option up and out. If it starts falling back toward the strike, you could think about rolling it up and out if you still want to own Pulte at these prices. But what about rolling it up and out right now when it's deep in the money? Let's see what we could do. Let's roll it out as far as possible, all the way to the furthest leap. December 2025, 2.5 years from now. Here we are looking at the options chain page for December 2025. We'll pick a strike around the same price as our current option to keep it simple. And that would be this one, the 60 strike. The 60 strike's going for around 21, close to the same price as our current option. Options on Pulte this far out aren't very liquid. Big spreads between the ask and the bid. So I'm just making a guess at a potential fill price. Let's take a closer look at getting filled on the December 2025 60 strike. Let's say we're able to fill at the same price as our current option, $21.15. We'd get to participate in another $10 of stock price appreciation from the 50 strike to the 60 strike over 2.5 years. So let's calculate the annualized yield on that. I've linked my episode on annualized yield in the description. The annualized yield is the profit loss divided by collateral, that value times 365 divided by the number of days. For collateral, the money we need to keep locked away, we'll use the current closeout value. That is the current price of the stock, 68.43, minus 21.15, the price of the option. That is 47.28 for $4,728 per contract, 100 shares. So the annualized yield works out to these numbers, or 8.13%. We also get almost a 1% dividend from Pulte. So if we rolled it out to December 2025, and if the option finished in the money, we're looking at an approximate 9% return annualized. The delta for that option is 0.725, so that means there's approximately a 72.5% chance of it finishing in the money. If it's not in the money at that point and we still like Pulte stock, then we sell another covered call after it expires. It's going to act a lot like a high-yielding bond over this time. If it finishes out of the money, it's like the bond partially defaulted. Finally, option 4. A less likely outcome is the current owner of the option decides to execute the option early once it's really far in the money. They might want to realize their gains early and sacrifice the remaining time value. It would normally be better to just sell the option for them, but sometimes they want to execute early because of dividends, high spreads and trouble getting filled, or other reasons. But this is good for you. You get to close your position early without paying any time value. So given these options, what am I going to do with my deep in the money Pulte covered calls? I'm waiting for now. I'm monitoring the time value. As it gets lower, I'll be more likely to close my covered calls and stock position. Maybe the owner will do it for me and call it away early. If PHM should fall back towards the strike, I'll consider rolling up and out to capture more stock price appreciation and dividends. I like PHM, but maybe not at its current price. 68 is an all-time high. Selling options can smooth out your returns, but the smoothing happens in both directions. And this is the kind of smoothing that you don't want, the kind that throttles your overall returns. If you sell covered calls, This kind of situation will occasionally happen to you. It's the price you pay for collecting all that premium. So be ready and have a plan. Hopefully this has been some good food for thought should one of your covered calls go deep in the money. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and let me know what you think in the comments.